farming. Oh man, Diablo 4 actually was. I've been debating. I want to get it, but right now I don't have the money for it. But when I do have the money, I've been debating picking it up. So been thinking about it. Oh dang, it ate one of the uses. I didn't disconnect. That's kind of fun. Not that it matters. Come on, give me a sleep. Paralyze. Nope. I'll die on the poison tip. Hilarious. Yeah, Diablo 4 is great. Street Fighter 6 is great. I'm not into Street Fighter 6, but it looks awesome. Tears of the Kingdom is great. A lot of great games out right now. I know Starfield's coming. But Super Mario Wonder and Super Mario RPG are absolutely the ones on my list as must-have games later in the year. Definitely want those. My only concern with picking up Diablo 4 is that I would get bored with it within like 10 hours of gameplay. It's one of those games where I definitely feel like if I had someone to consistently play with and even stream with, I'd probably play it a fair amount. Unfortunately, my stream schedule is somewhat tough because, kids and adult life. I'm not even interested in FF16, to be honest with you. I'm avoiding the streams, but that's because I'm avoiding the game altogether. I don't have any interest in it, and I don't really want to give I don't want to. I want it to. Like, I want it to do. I want the game to be good, but it's not my kind of game. Like, I am no longer a Final Fantasy player. I am absolutely an Octopath Traveler or Bravely Default player because those are the games that used to be Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is now a different type of game than it was initially, and that's okay. That's fine. They have to evolve, and I get that, especially, people want different things, but I am not an action RPG kind of guy. Yeah, that makes sense. At the end of the day, like, my big beef with Final Fantasy is that it's becoming more of a Western RPG over the years, and less of an actual JRPG where it's turn-based strategy. That action element absolutely makes the game dog shit tier for me. I'm not saying that it's a bad genre of game. That's for me. I hate it. It's just honestly not what I'm into. And a lot of people are. And that is it's clear with the success of, games that do that, right? Like all of the RPGs. I mean, you even look at, stuff like Skyrim. And to a certain extent, like Zelda and Dark Souls, like the reason I like Zelda but don't like other games like the Final Fantasy games that are doing that is because Zelda leans into the puzzle aspect and is more exploration based, and the combat is kind of hack and slash, and I enjoy hack and slash with less RPG element. When you add more RPG element to the live action type fighting, it starts to be cumbersome to me. My favorite FF game all time is because of all the glitches on the cartridge. Final Fantasy 3 cartridge, which is Final Fantasy 6 in JP. That because you could actually brick your cartridge. You could actually erase the entire cartridge with Realm Sketch. And, that seems like a weird reason to like a game more than the others, but I generally enjoyed the world. The sort of, the aspect of it, the steampunk kind of retro fantasy. 6 just hit all the right notes for me. It's my second favorite JRPG of all time. I won't say it's the best, but it is absolutely my favorite. 4 is incredible. for what it was. Enjoyed it. You know, it's a very strong game. Arguments can be made for it being one of the best. Love Going to the Moon, loved Edge, love Cecil. You know, it's great. 5 is a game I wanted to like because the job system was done very well, but I just never really, like, didn't really love the way that the job levels were done. So again, that's not to say that it's not good, because it is, but it's a game that just didn't. Yeah, no. The second half was the World of Ruin was definitely better than the World of Balance. Absolutely, 100%. The weakness to 6 is they have so many characters they can't possibly develop all of those characters. So, but the benefit is you have so much choice in your party building. Like, so many different ways to build your party and be successful and do different things and be fun. 7. So 7 has the worst intro to any Final Fantasy game in the history of Final Fantasies. I hated it. 6 was very unbalanced. And the Esper thing, like, you really were supposed to run through the World of Balance as fast as possible so that you could level up and be stronger because you used the Espers in the second half. So it's also kind of like use your shit characters in the World of Balance and then save your OP characters for the World of Ruin. But in any case, notwithstanding, 7 was definitely a great game. Okay, I'm not disparaging 7, but I hated the introduction to the game, so I never actually got into it to like beat it. I've watched the game be played by several friends in my lifetime. It came out at max hype. I was literally at the age, I was like a teenager at the time, max hype on it. And the intro fell flat to me. I did not enjoy the Mako reactor. So the Mako reactor thing at the beginning just threw me off, and I just never really liked it. When I went back and watched all my friends play through it, and watched several speed runs of it, watched other 100% runs of it, the game has a lot of depth. The materia system is amazing, and the mini games and stuff that they have in it were well done. The story was a little bit thin to me and a little bit disjointed and made no sense. With a couple of minor plot holes that just really got under my skin more than they should have. So 7's in the, it's a top game, but I didn't like it. 8 is hot garbage, and I liked it. 9 is very good, mostly underrated by folks, but solid Final Fantasy game, probably the last top tier Final Fantasy game. 10 is the game that had such a great gameplay and such a great mechanics that the ending was so bad that they made a second game where people dressed up in dresses and changed clothes as the mechanic of the game. And that was weird, but also that game was still kind of like mechanically good. So I don't know, 10's kind of weird for me because the game's a classic. It's absolutely in my top 5. 11 online is absolutely amazing, and anybody who says otherwise is not really. I'm just kidding. It was, you either loved it or you hated it. I liked it. 12 was basically 11 but offline. So like if you want a solo player MMO experience, that's 12. The story was kind of garbage in Vaughn and Pinello are wastes of space, and Bosch was and Balthier should have been the leading men, and they weren't. And I don't know, weird decisions were made by all. But in any case, yeah, that's just kind of those games in a nutshell. Then you have 14, which was initially a pile of hot garbage, and then they remade it, and it was actually kind of good. And I never played it, really, but that's just like the way it is. And then, of course, you have 13, which I skipped because that game is a hot pile of garbage. It's a hallway simulator. Fuck that game. That's how I feel about 13. 15 didn't appeal to me. I bought it, looked at it, decided, you know what, I wasted $10. Oh well. Yeah, it's kind of where it's going to stay. Maybe one day somebody can gift 100 subs and I'll play it on stream. That's basically where it is for 15. Yeah. If you want to pay me money. Oh, she did a double cast. That's not good. But okay. Let's see it, I guess. Whatever. hurts less because I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, that's just my nutshell. Now, the absolute worst Final Fantasy of all time. Yeah, 15, the broing. Yeah. The worst fan of Final Fantasy of all time is still always Final Fantasy 2. Much as I hate 13. There were some cute characters. 2 is awful. 2 is absolute horse shit. It's a shit sandwich. One was fun. 3 was cute. Yeah. I beat 1, I beat 3, I beat 4, I beat 5, I beat 6. I didn't beat 8, I didn't beat 9, I beat 10, I beat 11, I beat 12, I beat 13. I really wanted to beat 7, 8, and 9, but I mean, I watched like 20 playthroughs of 7. I was well on my way to beating Final Fantasy VIII when some jerk stole my brother's PlayStation with Final Fantasy VIII in it. So I ended up never being able to actually get it again until it was too late and I wasn't really interested anymore. So that's kind of where that is. Yeah. I think we have to do this and just... Yeah, the level 2 was just super bizarre. Just so bizarre. Well, this run's a bust. This is a bustarino. There's no shot I can do nothing and have no more sleep. I mean, I'm gonna see how much damage I do. But yeah, this is definitely a bust. Yeah, there's no shot. Yeah, I mean I did, but like to be honest with you, like I could talk a lot more about each individual game, but I can't talk a lot about 7 because it's just mostly just like hate. I just drink haterade. It's just like awful. How much I just dump on it for no reason. It's a great game. Like I really should like it. But I think the massive amount of hype and all the people cramming it down everybody's throat is the greatest game of all time really kind of irritated me. But it was fine. The story wasn't as strong as I think it could have been. And that's not really a hot take, right? Because the world they built was kind of cool. The characters were really cringe. But that's not to say all of them were, right? Because they were representative of real people at that age, right? Because, like, if you look at high school age stuff, it's really cringe. Like, I was really cringe in high school. Like, and, you know, it's funny because, like, middle schoolers find, like, adult stuff cringe, and then they grow up, and then they find middle school stuff cringe. But, like, at the end of the day, it was, like, not... The characters weren't honestly that terrible. And when I look at it and I evaluate, like, Hope is a giant turd piece of shit, and I want him to die and never live again, and there's no redeeming him in my eyes. Fuck that character. He's annoying, and I hate him. Lightning wasn't bad. Snow wasn't bad. Saz was cool as the motherfucking underside of the pillow, man. That dude was bad. And his little chocobo in his hair. That's awesome. And then, you know, the redheaded chick, I think her name starts with a V. She was cool. Vanilla or something like, I don't remember her name. And then Pain was kind of cringe, you know, like the emo goth chick. Just so overplayed, overdone. The progression of the game was a little weird. I thought it was fun. I thought the battle mechanics were pretty compelling for the first half of the game. And, you know, sort of building up your armor and grinding it out was somewhat rewarding at first, but then there was not really a big payoff for it. And I think that's where the game really fell flat for me. Because unlike the materia system or the sphere grid in other games, there was a large payout where you could become more and more just ridiculously OP. I feel like the problem with 13 and the reason why it was negatively received is because the pieces didn't come together. The stagger system, number one, like if you ever played Xenosaga 2, you'll know that the problem with stagger systems immediately. You'll absolutely know them immediately because they slow the game down. They grind the game to a halt. It makes the battles take too long. And I'm not talking about for boss fights. I'm not talking about for like challenging fights that should be challenging. But when I run across some level 2 pissant and I have to break them before I can kill them, that's a waste of my fucking time. And Xenosaga 2 was filled with that bullshit. I literally 100%ed Xenosaga 2, and it probably took me 100 hours because every fucking battle, no matter how simple it was 2 to 3 minutes. No matter what. Because of load times, fucking sitting there having to do 3 fucking actions to break them and then killing them in one hit because they're a piece of shit. I hate that shit. And 13 had a very complex battle system that was very rewarding for boss fights and very, very annoying for anything else. I don't care. I should be able to just one-shot this piece of shit. And that's kind of where like it falls flat to me. But the fact is, the systems don't come together to make you OP at the end of it like it does in other Final Fantasy games. So if you go back to 6, you go back to 7, you go back to 8, you go back to 9, you go back to 10, then I got it down to 5% and then died. That's as close as I got, Arcade. They all had systems that when you were at the end of them, you just bullied stuff, right? And then there were still challenge fights. Like if you go back to 10, like even at max sphere grid, there are fights that absolutely push you to the limits and beat you down. You can beat them, but they're still challenging. That's not really how 13 felt. And it didn't feel like grinding rewarded you. So at the end of the game, I beat the game as low level as possible because I was just ready to be done with the game. And I barely beat the final boss. And it was challenging, but I didn't feel rewarded for beating it early. It just felt like, okay, I'm done with this. Like it's over. I'm done. And that's my problem with 13 is I never felt rewarded for playing the game. I never felt rewarded for grinding. I always felt like they just didn't do enough. And that's why I really don't like 13. I can deal with the hallway. I can deal with that. I don't really care that it's on rails. I mean, that's annoying at a certain point. But like it felt like it was going to open up at a certain point, and it did, but it didn't. It was just like almost. And that almost just kind of got under my skin and just ate away at it. Also having to deal with Hope. Ugh. Hope. What a goober. So, Arcip, appreciate you coming back. It's been a mix of good and bad RNG. I got some really god tier RNG and almost won. But she did that switch bullshit, and Therion couldn't switch forward and break. And then, yeah, that was that. Yeah. That was unfortunate. Because, yeah. 26 shields in Gertrude mode after that break wasn't happened. Then she went turbo mode and furied my front line, and she was at like literally 5%. Pretty frustrating. Did the sleep didn't land? Yeah, this run's over. I'd like to talk more about 9, but I didn't play through 9. I helped my buddy do certain parts of that game. There were certain mini games like the hot and cold peck game or whatever. I did that for him, and maybe a couple other things. But the game was really solid from what I saw, and you know what little. Yeah. I got all of that, Arcib. I got 3 sleeps and a double cast. Unfortunately, It just didn't have the damage. Yeah, 9 is honestly, if they ever do a remake, then I'll play it. Otherwise, I'm probably not. I'm not gonna lie to you. 7, 8, and 9 did not age well. The polygonal graphics did not age well at all, and it kind of sucks that it didn't age well, but it didn't age well. Whereas you got games like Super Mario RPG that still, at this point, look better than 7, 8, and 9. And the game was made much earlier. Yeah, it was a little campy, but 9 was good. I'm not going to say anything, but 8, the problems with 8 are many. Too many to name. Just don't think it was very good. I mean, if you go back and play 1, which I have, Final Fantasy 1, it's fine. There's nothing, like, if you played it first, you'd be like, oh, this is great, and then you get not to. Any of the other games, you're like, wow, they really came a long way. Because, I mean, that's really how it feels. It feels like the beginning. It feels like, oh, they made this game, and then they realized that people loved it, and then they really went, like, and made everything better about it. But it was still good. 2, though, oh, god dang, how do you mess a game up like that? I don't even understand what they were thinking. Like, I think in their idea, it was like the maximum grind possible. But, like, what really irritated me was, like, at the beginning of the game, you come out, and the area you're in, if you take one step too far in any direction, you're dead. 100% dead. You're dead. Dead, dead, dead. Everything is just like one shot in your face off. You're like, bro, I'm just trying to gain a couple levels. And I just went one step too far in this direction, I died. So I went that direction, I died. I went that direction, I died. Where the f can I go? And it was at that point I realized the game sucked ass. Yeah. 3, man, the problem, the one thing I'll say about 3 is, I really don't like that they made it to where you have you really have to have a specific party to be able to beat the game. If you haven't played 3, I'm not going to elaborate any further than that. If you have, I'll be happy to talk about it. That was really obnoxious to get to the end of the game, realize my party literally could not beat the boss. It was literally impossible. And then I had to change my party. That was incredibly frustrating. I actually got my sequencing right there for once. Didn't get better damage than I got before. So if you're still here, Archib, you should be seeing like why, like I have to have a double cast, and I'm probably not going to get it here. I probably do need Hasumi, which stinks, but it is what it is. I need this sleep to land, and I need the next sleep to land. But mostly just to sleep after this. And then I've got one more chance. 2 more chances at a double cast. As you can see, I don't quite have the damage. I thought my thing slipped. That's not the hit that I'm worried about, but if she gets another attack, people are dead. Or a single person is dead. And it's any of the poison people. Alright, sleep landed. That's good. So, in that case, I can do some curing. Some debilitating. Alright. You don't want to double cast here. We want to double cast here. Got paralysis on the A4 proc. No double cast. Okay. You gotta take a chance. Actually, I think the ult here. Actually, hold on. 437. 360. I think we ult here. And hope that Paralyze stops her from doing anything, because we need to sleep the turn after, because we're not going to be able to get the kill here. No double cast. It's unfortunate. Well, that damage was good, but... We gotta hope that Paralyzed procs, and then the sleep lands. That's pretty much it. Oh! Step one. Honestly, just paralyze the rest of the fight. I don't care. Alright. Okay, well... that was automatic. So we absolutely bring her to the front. We're just trying for some paralyze. Yes! Exactly what we wanted to see. We got a chance. She went serious and she still goes? No shot. That is bull crap. It's not the one. It is the one. Let's fucking go. Oh my god. No, that she didn't shield guard. Therion broke her. What the heck? I thought she was shield guarded. She went serious. When she went serious, she lost the shield guard. I did not know that would happen. Oh my god. Thanks. Thank you, Shaman. Thank you. What an awesome first time chat. She dropped shield guard when she went serious. So Therion literally... Oh my god. Me putting Odette in the back. I literally put her in the back hoping for a paralyzed proc. So that in case shit went south, Odette would have a chance. Let's fucking go. Oh my god. Holy shit. That was the most insane RNG I've gotten in a 100 NPC fight. Period. That is not something... Like, that was 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours. Oh my god. That is fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you to everyone who stuck around through 4.5 hours of that. But it's been a wonderful time. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait to record this at some point tomorrow and upload it to YouTube. Because that is absolutely amazing. Hold on, I gotta kill a bug on the wall. Alright. Sorry, I had to slap the wall.